taking note that the SQ5R is Blake's taxonomy, okay? You have a handout, and this is all on your handout, so make sure you kind of follow along with me. All right, so the study cycle. This is really how you should be studying, okay? There are 5 steps when you're studying. You should first kind of preview the material before you go to class, skim over the book, look at the notes from the previous class, have an idea of what you're going over. And look at the syllabus. It normally has some idea of what you're supposed to be going over during this, okay? The next thing is to attend class. Please go to class, go to your tutoring sessions. All of those things are key. Studies have shown that the students who go to class do significantly better than the students who don't, even if you only miss on occasion, okay? The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to review. You're going to go through your notes, go through the book after the class, kind of synthesize that material, and make the connections that you need to make, okay? Because there are going to be connections. All right, then after that, you take the time to study. You make sure that you really read the material, you really go through and take the time to look through all of your notes in the book again, okay? Normally that kind of happens a little bit closer to test time. Okay? Then, after that, you need to assess your learning. Has anybody here ever made a test to kind of quiz themselves on what they know? That's great. That's great. That's a wonderful thing to do. Okay? That's something that you constantly need to be doing for your classes because that gives you a really good idea of what you need to go back over. Okay? The other thing that you can do is when you have note cards. If you make note cards, if it's vocabulary-based or really kind of rote memory-based class, you have note cards and go through the note cards and put aside the ones that you know and put to the other side the ones that you don't know. Then you'll keep picking up the ones that you don't know afterward and going through them until you know them all. But make sure if you do that at the end you go through all of the note cards again, because what you'll find is when you go back to your test, it's those ones that you knew the first time and never had to go back over that you'll forget. Okay? Does anybody here know how many times it takes you to process information in order for you to remember it effectively? 9 times. You're right. 9 times, okay? So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're processing this information 9 times. And this is a great way to do that. All right. The second part is the chronology method. Has anybody ever seen that somebody fold their paper in half or a third? Good. It's great. It's a great way of taking notes. Does anybody here ever find themselves writing down everything the professor says? Okay, this is a great thing for you then, okay? Because what you're going to do is after class, you're going to kind of go through, you're only going to write on 1/2, okay? Or 2/3, depending on how you fold your paper. Then what you do is after class, you go back over your notes. You pull out the most important information, or you pull out any questions you might have from the information, and you write them on the left-hand side. That way, when you go to study, when you take the time to study right before the test, you already know what you had issues with, what you feel like is the most important information. You've already synthesized all that information and pulled out the main points. Okay? And that way, what happens is you get to a test and you have 4 chapters and you have like 40 pages worth of notes. You're only actually studying about 10. Okay? The SQ5R is one thing that you can do during the study session before your test and kind of making sure that you can go over the material 9 times. Okay? So the first thing you're going to do is survey. You're going to go through the book and through your notes and kind of skim over what's being gone over. Okay? Then you're going to kind of question the material. You're going to go through and find any questions that you have on the material. Kind of question the material itself. Say, what's important in here? What did I not get? Is this a valid argument? All of those things are necessary when you're reading. Okay? That makes you an active learner. Okay? The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take the time to read. How many of you are in classes like biology or history where there's a lot of reading? Okay. I was a political science / history major, right? And so my reading was very, very long, very long. I went to law school, which made it even longer. I didn't realize that, but it's a lot of reading. But what you can do is making sure that you go back and you skim through. There's those big, bold typeface at the top of a column or a section. Making sure you go through that and kind of skim that section. If you feel like you already then make sure that you read the parts that you don't know, okay? So that you're managing your time well and going through the information that you really need to know instead of wasting your time on stuff that you already know, okay? Making sure that you write down stuff, okay? Take notes in your book. How many of you have rented textbooks? Great. How many of you think that because you have rented textbooks you can't write or highlight in your books? Not true. Not true. You can write and highlight in your textbook, okay? And actually they encourage you to do so. A lot of students look for the books that have highlighting in them because they already know that someone has already kind of processed that information for them, okay? So that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you're processing that information and actively engaging in it by highlighting, writing in the margins, pulling out all the information that you feel necessary for you to study, okay? Recite. Does anybody ever talk their notes to themselves? That's a great way to do it, okay? Making sure that you're reading that stuff aloud or having your computer read it to you. There's so much technology now, you can have your computer read your notes to you, okay? But hearing it, writing it, thinking about it, those are really great ways for you to get to those 9 different ways of processing the information, okay? Because what you want to do is you want to make as many connections through your brain so that when you're sitting in the test, you can really recall that information a lot easier, okay? And then the last 2 things you do are review and reflect. So you're going to make sure that you go over, you review what you've already done, you kind of go over your notes and you look again, and then reflect on what you know. You assess what you don't know and what you need to know and reflect on it, okay? Alright, so Bloom's taxonomy, is anybody here an education major? Alright, Bloom's either will become your friend or already has become your best friend. So, can you tell me what an example, any of you, of what the creating stage would be? What does that mean? Alright, well, for example, I was a political science history major, and I had to read a book called Utopia. Has anybody ever heard of Utopia? Alright, it's about this perfect little world on an island, okay? They don't need government. They're perfect. Well, what I decided to do, because, let's be honest, it was a very boring book, okay? What I decided to do is I'd read this book, and I wasn't going to be very interested in it because it was very dry. But I was going to create my own utopia based on what I read. And I did. I created my perfect world, okay? I didn't have to do it for a class. No one required me to do it. But it was something that really connected me to the material so that when I had to write this 5-page in-class essay about utopia, I remembered what I would have made my utopia and how I connected that to the book, okay? That's a way to kind of create something. If you go out of your way to create an experiment because you're learning something in chemistry class and you don't necessarily have the instructions in front of you, you're just doing it to do it, like putting pimentos and diet cokes, and you've never done that. That's a great way to kind of see physical and chemical changes and do different experiments. Make sure you're outside when you do it. So making sure that you get to that stage, okay? Because once you get to the creating stage, you're going to remember, you're going to understand, you're going to be able to apply and analyze and evaluate the material. So the reason that that's important is because in high schools, a lot of times you're only required to remember and understand the material. You are not asked to apply it or evaluate it or really critically think about it. But in college, you are. You're required to do those things on a very daily basis. Okay? You have to critique things, analyze them, create new things from them. So making sure that you on your own get to that point so that you can do other things that the professors require of you to get to the creating stage, okay? But they're all very aware of Bloom's taxonomy. All right, does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns?